Once the opportunity arose for him to close the show, he did it in emphatic style.
Whatever he hits falls.
Oscar Bevis for IFL TV in association with MTK Global. We're here at the Ultimate Boxer 5 weigh-in. Delighted to be joined by Paulie Malignaggi. Paulie, how are you?
Good, what's going on?
Quite a lot actually. Obviously tomorrow's your pundit and analysis, commentary, etc.
Yeah.
You've been your normal role over these last couple of months?
Yeah. Well, I've been with Ultimate Boxer from the start, and I've seen the product grow, I've seen the brand grow, and I love the opportunity it gives to the fighters. I love the entertainment value it brings for the fans, and I think it's a terrific combination of both. And I think tomorrow night will be no different.
And in terms of you sort of, just first off in your punditry and analysis role, do you want to allude to a tweet I saw yesterday actually where someone said, who's the best commentator around at the moment? And you were getting quite a lot of love on that. You do seem to get quite a lot of love on the commentary front. Is that something that you're just going to keep on doing? You've got shows perhaps coming up that you're going to be doing?
Yeah, I mean, I appreciate the fact that fans, do take a liking to me in the commentary booth. I do my best. Honestly, I just kind of call it as I see it. I look for the patterns. I look for the ways people can follow the fight along through my eyes, and pick up on things that maybe not everybody will see, and then kind of bring them out, and then I think once I bring them out, a lot of times they start to show themselves over and over again in a fight, and people can kind of follow along those patterns and get a better view of the fight that I'm calling, and to me that if I make your experience a little bit better watching a fight, then for me I'm doing my job, and that's part of the love I have for this particular job in commentating is to do that, and give the people, give whoever's watching a better experience.
100%. Now, I want to move away from Ultimate Boxer and move on to some fights from the weekend. Did you watch Fury?
Yeah, I saw some of it.
Yeah, your thoughts?
I really just think that Fury is consistently inconsistent. He looks really good against good fighters, but sometimes he'll diminish himself to the level of other fighters. And Wallen came very motivated, and of course, when you have a very motivated fighter that you didn't go into the fight always thinking that you have that kind of trouble. Sometimes you can have that kind of trouble. I mean, I'll put it to you like this: Fury never looked like he was going to be Klitschko before the Klitschko fight, right? I mean, no performance would tell you that he was going to do that to Klitschko, and he did. And going into the Wilder fight, he'd been off, then he had a couple of comeback fights. Nothing told you that in his performances leading into the Wilder fight that he performed the way he did in the Wilder fight. So I think one thing we've known about Fury that we should realize about Fury at this point in time is that Fury is a guy that doesn't always look great, but gets the job done, and that's the bottom line. He gets the results. But when it's time for the big opportunity, the big opposition, the big stage, Fury's always there. I mean, he performed against Klitschko, he performed against Wilder. So I don't think this is anything different from the past. I mean, people can kind of criticize a little bit more now because he's more known, and maybe they know about him more now than they did before. But I've been following Fury for a long time, and this is just par for the course for Tyson Fury. And I have no doubt that when him and Wilder do get in the ring, if Wilder is able to get by Ortiz, which is not an easy fight, and if they do make the Fury and Wilder rematch, I'm sure it'll be a terrific matchup between two great fighters, and both guys will be very up for it and ready to show.
Do you buy the statement that some people are saying that the Fury fight may have been stopped in other countries, possibly if Fury was an away fighter?
It's possible. Personally, I don't care about that though. If a fighter, the only time a fight should be stopped, in my opinion, is if the fighter's life is in jeopardy. I don't care about cuts, and sometimes you think the cut will affect the fighter's vision and maybe put him in jeopardy as far as his life is concerned. But in reality, nothing of the sort happened to Tyson Fury. So therefore, not stopping the fight was the right decision. I don't buy into the whole should they have stopped it, should they not have stopped it, crap like that. To me that's just a cop out, and you're just looking for a reason to get a cheap win off the guy. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And it is what it is. In boxing we get cut, in boxing we bleed, in boxing we break things. It's fighting, and damage is part of the recipe.
I don't know, obviously you said that you feel like Fury steps up the level when the opponent stepped up, but is there anything that perhaps Wilder can take from that he wouldn't have known before? Not at all?
Nah, I don't. I mean, can Klitschko take anything out of Steve Cunningham dropping Fury?
No.
Right? So, I mean, I don't see it. Was Wilder able to take anything out of the Pianeta performance from Fury and the opponent before Pianeta? Not really, So I mean, I honestly think you psych yourself out if you try to take something out of these performances because you're not going to get the same fury. So I honestly think if you look at performances like this and then think, okay, I can take advantage of such and such thing that he did in this fight, you'll find yourself psyching yourself out. I think Deontay's best approach to the fight is beat Deontay Wilder. I mean, Deontay Wilder himself is a great fighter when he's himself. So I don't think there's anything he should take out of these kind of fights to play for America.
Okay, moving on. The night before on the Friday, there was a fight from New York. Devin Haney became WBC interim champion. Yeah, Devin Haney, he sort of tweeted the other day and said, I'm not a prospect anymore, I may be 20, but, you know, look at me, I'm basically on the threshold of being world level and fighting Vasily Lomachenko. Your thoughts on Haney, Lomachenko, in that division?
I think he's definitely a contender. But I wouldn't put him in with Lomachenko quite yet. Of course, the problem with these interim titles is they start to exist forever. You know, back in the day when they made interim titles, you basically had 6 months to fight the interim champion. If you didn't fight the interim champion in 6 months, the interim champion became the full champion. Are you going to really see Lomachenko and Haney in the next 6 months? And if you don't, is Lomachenko going to be stripped of the WBC title? Or if Haney passes up on it, is Haney going to be eliminated of the interim title that he has? You know, I don't know. I don't even know how you play these politics anymore, but I really don't I think Haney's a really good fighter, and he's going to develop into a better fighter, but I just don't think that he's ready for Lomachenko yet.
And in terms of Gervonta Davis moving into that division?
Same thing, you know. I don't think you rush into a Lomachenko fight unless your age tells you to, you know. And I think guys like Haney and Gervonta are young enough where they don't have to rush into a Lomachenko fight. Right now, Lomachenko is the best one at that weight, and for me, you know, that's guys like Richard Colby, for example. They want to get a Lomachenko fight because he's up there around Lomachenko's age, you know. So you're battling for that because you have nothing to wait for, you know. And Richard Colby's honestly a dangerous lightweight. Him and Teofimo. That fight is a dynamite fight. I think it has a potential fight of the year written all over it. And I credit Teofimo Lopez's team for taking that fight because he's getting a lot of hype, and he can continue to get a lot of hype even if he didn't fight a Richard Colby. He's taking on a Richard Colby, so to me it's a dynamite 50-50 fight.
Obviously, Teofimo Lopez is much younger than Richard Comey, so there perhaps could be potential for him to wait. If he was to come through Richard Comey, would you stick him in with Lomachenko sort of
I think he's in more in the conversation, even though he's young, but you could also wait for him to wait as well. I mean, I don't think there's a rush when you have the age on your side, but I will say this. If Teofimo can beat Richard Comey, he has a very, very solid win on his record that will tell you that he's ready for that kind of opposition. Comey is a level of opposition that I don't believe guys like Haney or even Gervonta have fought yet. You know, so if Teofimo beats a Richard Colby, then you know the conversation is rational, and you can put him in with Lomachenko. But having said that, you don't have to because really, Teofimo has youth on his side and doesn't have to jump back into something that fast, you know. But let's look at the example of Meldrick Taylor. You know, like he was in his prime very early and he ended very early. You know, like when you rush young fighters, yes, you get a lot out of them, but you know they might be shot before they're even 30 years old. You know, you don't want to take that chance either.
Okay, I just want to get your thoughts on KSI against Logan Paul. It's going to land potentially on Sky. Obviously, you've done work as commentary on Sky. If you were asked to sort of do analysis and punditry for that fight, would you take it? Is it something you'd be interested in? I have no idea about those guys, but you know, the popularity of those guys kind of lets people be interested in the fight. Tell you what, it kind of shows you that combat sports are kind of moving into a new age, a new dawn of internet promotion, and I think you know you're gonna analyze these things a little bit differently because you don't really have footage of these two guys fighting. You know, I think the intrigue of these two guys fighting is their popularity. You know, if two popular people are fighting, I mean, I think people would watch Justin Bieber fight just because he's Justin Bieber. You know what I'm saying? I think people are always. I think it's kind of sort of like when you were in high school and a fight broke out. You know what I'm saying? And you just watched because
you watched it and you knew who the kids were. You're like, oh man, you know, when you know who they are and they fight, it's like kind of different. You know, a lot of times the problem with combat sports is people don't know who the fighters are. They don't really have an interest in them. You know, but these are all people that people have an interest in. So if they get into a fight, which is basically you just getting into a fight, people are always going to watch. So you know, there's nothing wrong with that. If it makes dollars, it makes sense.
Do you think there's anything sort of against the integrity of boxing? That's what I've heard a lot of hardcore fans are saying.
I think you have to just kind of let that go. You know, it's just a new dawn. There's things about the new generation that I'm not crazy about either. You know what I'm saying? But if this is the way it's going to be, then some things are going to work, some things are not going to work. And I don't think there's anything wrong with this working because at the end of the day, okay, maybe the fighters that have worked harder. Billy Joe Saunders, for example, is on the undercard, and you know he's worked harder and he's a better fighter and he's got a better reputation within the sport. Yes, okay, you can say okay, it's not fair to them, but at the same time, it's also giving them a platform for a really big promotion. And so, even if they are not the internet celebrities, now the new fans that are coming into boxing because of the internet celebrities may start watching the real fighters as well, and you've got a new fan base kind of entering into the fray. So I don't think it's a problem. See, that I don't have a problem with. I have some other things that I don't have problems with the new generation, but that's not one of them.
One thing that Logan Paul actually did say, I know you said you don't know much about him, I think that's sort of the same for a lot of people who watch his video, that they don't know too much about him, especially from a fighting point of view, is that when he comes through, shall I say, against KSI, that he wants to fight Conor McGregor.
I mean, I think promotion-wise, it's great. I think Conor takes that fight in a heartbeat because it's a fight he can win. You know.
Yeah. You'd think so. Yeah.
Yeah, Conor. I think Conor. You know, Conor's only looking for fights he can win. You know, so I think, and he needs to. But I think if they make that fight, you know, it would be a massive promotion. And I think both guys would make a lot of money. And I think you'd probably find enough idiots to buy it too. So. I don't think there's a problem with that either. Like I said, if it makes dollars, it makes sense at the end of the day, you know. But you know, it's a fight. That's probably an easy fight for Conor McGregor.
Well, if that last punch in the bar was anything to go by, then I'm not sure Logan will have too much trouble.
No. Well, I could have told him that 2 years ago when people didn't want to buy it either.
Paulie, I think what else you said the other day actually about Canelo and Kovalev. You said it's a bit of a yeah.
Yeah.
And obviously they come head to head.
Yeah, they come head to head. I mean, listen, it's what it is. I mean, boxing has become what it's become at this point. You know, it's, nobody wants to fix it, and this is the way it's gonna go. So, it's let's let it be.
Okay, Paulie Malignaggi, I'm gonna leave it there. Thank you for speaking to IFL TV, and yeah, enjoy Ultimate Boxer tomorrow, and hopefully we'll catch up with you. Thank you.
Once the opportunity arose for him to close the show, he did it in emphatic style.
Whatever he hits falls.